There are both immediate and long-term effects of cannabis use on the brain. The immediate effects include impaired attention and concentration, slowed and reduced quality of decision-making, impulsivity, and impaired working memory. Working memory refers to the amount of information that can be held in mind and used in the execution of cognitive tasks. For example, remembering someone's 10-digit mobile phone number long enough to dial it on your phone. The long-term effects of cannabis on the brain are not as clear as they are for alcohol, because less research has been conducted, and for human studies, it's harder to find and study individuals who've used only cannabis during adolescence and no other substance. Also complicating matters is that cannabis has been most well studied in heavy users rather than those who use it sporadically. Over the years, we've also seen cannabis become more potent as the levels of THC, which is the psychoactive component of cannabis, increase. Some experts believe these stronger strains of cannabis may be doing even more long-term harm to the brain. We do know that individuals who started using cannabis as adolescents more frequently present with impairments in attention, memory, visual processing, and reduced IQ score. There's also a clear association between mild to moderate cannabis use in adolescence and increased risk of psychosis and negative emotional consequences later in life, including low motivation and reduced social activity. It is not clear yet if cannabis effects on the brain are the specific cause of this or whether the negative effects are permanent. While one major long-term study found that cognitive function is never fully restored in those who began using cannabis at a young age, even with long-term abstinence, pre-existing differences in other risk factors could not be completely ruled out as being the true cause. Animal studies, which can provide more reliable conclusions about cause and effect, do indicate that adolescent brains are more vulnerable to the long-term negative effects of cannabis on cognition and emotional functioning, similar to those observed in human association studies. Animal studies also suggest that the negative long-term effects of cannabis may be dose-dependent, with lower doses of THC and milder patterns of cannabis use during adolescence being less likely to cause long-term impairments. In summary, while there's a strong association between early, frequent, and heavy cannabis use in adolescence and poor cognitive and emotional outcomes in later life, definite conclusions cannot be drawn about whether this is because of how cannabis affects the brain. The safest approach is to avoid cannabis altogether.